Hello, everyone. This is Aqualin, and welcome to Sacred Self-Love Sundays. I am so excited to be here with you to present to you some inspired information. That's what I like to call it. And so with that, thank you so much for being a part of the Inner Work Sessions group. I am so happy to have you a part of this group. Thank you so much for voting for Sacred Self-Love Sundays as well, because it's really what's the word I'm looking for? It's really motivating me. That's probably the best word. It's really motivating me to show up more, because I have a personal goal to show up more. And so today I don't really have a specific topic that I want to talk about. I toggle between a few things, but now that I'm talking about showing up, that might be one, although we do have a class in this group for showing up. The other one was creating healthy habits for yourself. And so I think that I'm going to kind of dig into that a little bit. And I know that a little bit of this is redundant to what I've taught before. But I realized that two things. Number one, I'm talking to a new group of people, some of you who may not have experienced me sharing this in any way. And number two is we have to continue to repeat lessons. We have to continue to hear lessons as a reminder, but also a part of repeating is repetition. And that's how we form habits, but that's also how we create mental pictures and mental images, and mental discipline is through repetition. So let's get into it. Creating healthy habits. Why is it important for you to create healthy habits? Creating healthy habits. First of all, let's kind of break that down to what creating healthy habits are or is. Number one is you have to really define for yourself what healthy is. Now, we do have definitions, and when I'm saying healthy, I'm not just talking about physically healthy. That's just as important as your emotional health, as your mental health, as your spiritual health. So all of this, we're going to combine together when I say healthy. But for you, you have to really define for yourself what healthy is for you. What does it look like? What does it feel like? You know, what would your life be like if you attained or achieved the healthy status that you're wanting to create and achieve? Now, notice I said healthy and not healed, because, you know, healthy is a completely different aspect than healed. Healed means that you are that there is a ailment or something that's happening that you are healing from or healing through. But healthy means that you are already whole, you are already complete. You're wanting to maintain your wholeness, and you're wanting to maintain your completeness. And so you have to really create habits to do that. Now, what habits are? Habits are simply repetitions that we start and we do, and then it eventually creates a lifestyle. Meaning that you start, let's say you want to exercise, or not necessarily exercise. Your goal maybe is to, just exercise. That's your goal. And so you start with creating the habit. Creating the habit means you have to do it every single day. Now, the thing about creating a habit is that it takes at least 21 days to create a habit. Dr. Maxwell Maltz, who was a plastic surgeon in the 40s, I think 30s or 40s, actually discovered that it takes at least 21 days to create a habit. Because the 21 days, what it does is it gives the neural connections and the neural pathways in your brain, I'm going to say, time to embed that particular pathway or that connection. And the thing about it is that when you are creating a new habit, you have to really do it for 21 days in a row. You cannot skip the 21 days. If you skip any day in the 21 days, then the next day you have to start over again, because your brain needs that 21 days to connect and create the neural pathway in your brain. So you really have to have discipline. You have to have personal commitment to yourself. And you also have to have that really deep self-love for yourself to honor that commitment that you make to yourself. I know for me, I'm starting to do meditation every day. Sometimes I would do it sporadically, and then sometimes I would do it a couple of times a week. Now I'm wanting to meditate every single day. And what that looks like for me is, initially I thought I could wake up at my regular time in the morning and get started. Well, waking up at my regular time, I'm a full-time caregiver, means that I have to be out of the bed by a certain time to go and take care of my niece, and then the sitter comes. And I didn't want to do it while the sitter was here. I wanted to just have my quiet time. So what I had to do for me was I had to look at what I had going on, do an assessment of what I had going on. And then number two is I had to decide what's more important, meditating alone, or, getting busy and doing everything that I needed to do in the morning. And what meant more to me was to meditate. So what I decided to do was wake up earlier in the morning. And in doing that, it's helping me to stick to my everyday routine. And I haven't skipped a day, and I'm so proud of myself, because it's so tempting sometimes to hit the snooze and keep going to sleep, or to just lay there and not want to get up. But I noticed that since I started meditating, every day, that those divine downloads are coming, and that my mind is clearer, and that I'm no longer, or I am getting detached from some things that I normally would feel attached to, specifically my cell phone. It's easier to put it down than it has been before. And so I said all of that to say that when you're creating healthy habits for your life, what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to do an assessment of your life. Number one, you want to set a goal. This is my goal of whatever your goal is. And then do an assessment. Where can I fit this goal in my life? Or what can I take away, which may be your cell phone, or maybe, a certain conversation, or what can I do to structure my life to accommodate this new habit that I want to create for myself. And so after you do that, then you set a goal. My goal is to do this for 21 days in a row. Now, I always do this with my clients. We have a habit tracker where every day for 21 days, you check off, or I like to say, sign your initials as if you are signing a legal document, because you've made a commitment to yourself. So get a calendar, get something, and track your habits. I believe you can download an app called Habit Tracker. I think there is one. I think I remember seeing one before, but track your habits. Get a piece of paper and write and draw 21 blocks. And every single day, be committed to yourself. Notice what I said. I didn't say every single day be committed to your habit. I said every single day be committed to yourself. Because if you're committed to yourself, then being committed to yourself also means being committed to your results. And as you do that, then you will be committed to actually doing the thing that you're wanting to do, to create the thing that you're wanting to create, or to continue to live in your wholeness, continue to live in your wellness, continue to live in your completeness. So once you do that, then after you mark it off every single day, commit to those 21 days. Like I said, accommodate your schedule for it, make some accommodations for it, and do the thing that you're wanting to do. Also, too, it's important that you understand and know that it's good for you to communicate your new habits to the people that are affected by whatever you're doing in your life. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes what we do is we'll say, well, I don't want to tell anybody what I'm doing, and we want to leave people in the dark, and that kind of opens room for speculation, and then they'll start speculating, and then they'll start wondering, well, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you share with me? And create secrets and all of that. So sometimes in certain conditions, it causes sort of tension. And so you want to use discernment, number one, who you disclose it to, but especially your family. If your family know that you need to get up 15 minutes earlier, or if they know that you need to have 15 minutes of exercise time or quiet time or prayer time or whatever it is, then communicate that. Communicate that. Even my little ones, they know that Yaya likes to sit in her chair and just read for a few minutes. And I've communicated that. Just give me, and sometimes I'll say, just give me 5 minutes, just give me 10 minutes, and they'll play. And then usually, even though they don't know how to tell time, well, the older one, she's learning. But even though they don't know how to tell time, they still 5 or 10 minutes later come back, and then they get what they need. And so that's why it's important for you to communicate. Because here's the thing, the bottom line is, when you tap into and become more connected with your wholeness, your wellness, your completeness, then it makes you an overall, so I don't want to say overall better person. It makes you overall more, not even accessible. It just makes your overall decision making and just your whole life, it puts a lot of things in perspective, and it helps you to communicate and to share with and to extend love to and to be gracious to the people in your life. Another thing about creating a habit is that it's overall for your well-being, but your well-being is the well-being of others, is the well-being of your family, is the well-being of your friends, your community, and ultimately the well-being of the world. So as you are creating these habits, know that it's you. Yes, it is intentionally about you, but the changes, any changes or any motion that you put in place in your life not only affects you, but it affects the people around you, and it affects the world, the universe. It affects everything. What else? So that's really all I wanted to share about creating healthy habits. So we have a challenge coming up in my email list that we did last year, I think, journal challenge. So I want to encourage you to join my email list, because every single day for 30 days, we're going to write in our journals. And it's so important that you use this time to spend time with yourself and to pour into yourself, because I've said this a couple of times, but I want to reiterate this. The world has changed. The world is different. You know, we see where things are somewhat similar, but systems have changed. The processes have changed. You know, the way we do things are changing right now. Like, things are becoming new and different because of the pandemic that we are, I say, still in, even though it doesn't seem like it or look like it when you look on the outside. Everybody's outside. But we're still in it. People are still, in countries, you know, are still being impacted in ways that's devastating. So this is why it's important for you to create these healthy habits, because you need to be in tune with and in touch with yourself so that you can know how to navigate in the world. And when I say in touch with yourself, I'm talking about the divine self. I like to call it your true essence, the God self, the person in you that is spirit. You know, I say this all the time, and you know this, I'm sure, that you are spirit, you have a soul, and you live in a physical body. You are spirit. That's the part of you that is connected with God. And that's the part of you that should navigate your life and what you're going to do, what you're will to do, what you think to do, what you ponder on, what you imagine, all of that. It should be the driving force, not the outside world, but God within you should be your driving force. So taking time to create new habits, taking time to get in tune with and in touch with yourself and in touch with the voice of God within you is super duper important. I talked about this past Thursday on the Inner Glow conference call about confident conversations. And a part of those conversations that I talked about is the inner conversation that we have. And the inner conversation, it involves three parties, actually. It is your true self, your true essence, your God self, your spirit self, which is who you truly are. And then there is the voice of spirit, which is the voice of God. And then there's the voice of ego, or the voice of, evil. And you have these two voices that's constantly going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yet you, the person you, the spirit person you, not the personality you, but the spirit person you, is the one who's listening and hearing the conversation go back and forth. I always think about the book of Job, where it says that, God and Satan had this conversation, and they were going back and forth about who, and then Job was chosen. Imagine that you are in on that conversation. Imagine that you're just in on the conversation. You're a third party in the room, and you're listening to two voices. That's who you are. You are the true self, the third party, listening to the two voices. But you have a choice in which voice that you listen to. You have a choice in which voice you allow to lead your life. And whatever voice that you decide to lead your life, you're going to have the results of that. So this is why creating healthy habits is important. This is why connecting with the voice of God is important, especially in this new world that we have moved into. You may not think about it. You may not believe it. You may not even have the capacity to comprehend it just yet, because things have happened so fast, and they're still happening really fast. But our world is not going to be the same after this. And I need you to understand that even the way people are doing business has changed, which is why the U.S. government has said, okay, now we see that people are making money now. So now we're going to track if you make $600, whatever, we're going to start tracking your accounts and auditing your accounts if you make $600 or more extra dollars than what you're supposed to be making, because systems have changed. People are doing business now via Cash App, via Venmo, via PayPal, and all of that. So the systems have changed. Not only that, the school systems have changed. Our little ones are out this week because, were out last week because they wanted to give the younger, the students who were failing an opportunity to get caught up. So the ones who are passing got a week off of school where they can do work at home, whereas those who were failing can still go to school. That's never happened before that I can recall, ever. So systems have changed. The school systems and school rules have changed. These young people went to school virtually online for a whole year. And some still are going virtually because some were given that option. But if you're going to operate in this new world, in this new system, in this new way, then you have to create some habits around the new way that's going to keep you in your wholeness, that's going to keep you in your wellness, that's going to keep you in your completeness. Because if any part of you breaks down, if any part of you breaks out, if any part of you goes against or pushes against or resists what's happening, then unfortunately you're going to be trying to play catch up with the world. You're going to be trying to play catch up, and that trying to play catch up can sometimes be a never-ending cycle. So it begins with knowing who you are, connecting within, hearing the voice of God, and then creating those healthy habits for yourself. Those healthy habits could be daily prayer. Those healthy habits could be daily meditation. Those healthy habits could be daily exercise. Those healthy habits could be daily going out in nature. Those healthy habits could be daily exercise. It could be whatever you want it to be. It could be painting, it could be drawing, it could be going out on social outings or whatever. Just do something that's going to create a space in you where you are connected with yourself, and you know that what you're doing is for your overall well-being, because that's ultimately what it's about, your overall well-being. God desires for you to be well, and you should desire for you to be well as well. You know, so I guess that was 2 messages in one. I'm trying to think of, is there anything else that I could say or talk about or discuss? Like I said, I came in today in this Sacred Self-Love Sunday today. I was still asking, okay, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? And never really got a direct message, but that was on my heart to share about creating habits. But as I was talking, the topic of the world is changing and the world has changed. It came up. So I'm saying that that's what God wanted you to hear today. And the thing about the change is this: it's not scary. I mean, we're here. We've endured. We've made it to this point in our lives. So the change is not scary at all. It's just unknown. You know, we didn't know what was going to happen. 18 months ago, when they announced that, okay, pandemic, lockdown, shutdown. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know about any of this. You know, we didn't know about the school system. We didn't know about the prison systems have changed, the education system, the political systems. Everything is changing right before our very eyes. And change can be a beautiful thing. It really can. But it depends on the perspective of the person witnessing the change and the person that is a part of the change. You know, it depends on our perspective. So if you really start to do the inner work, if you really start to tap in within yourself, then that will help you in keeping up with this whole transition that we're in right now. Because ultimately, that's what it is. It's a transition. And transitions can be beautiful. Transitions are healthy. You know, what can be healthy. Transitions can be life-changing as well. They should be, because it's a transition going from one way in one state of being to another new state of being. And so, pardon me, we're all in this transition together. So I said all of that to say that creating healthy habits is important even in this transition that we're in. And the second part of that is I want to encourage you to join my mailing list, because we are getting ready to do, I think I'm going to start it next week. We're going to do 30-day journal challenge. All you do, you get a daily journal prompt. And once you get that journal prompt, grab your journal and answer the question. I have this book here that I answer questions in, daily questions that I absolutely love, and it's called Today I Affirm, a journey that nurtures self-care. And this is one of my favorite things to do now. I haven't done a lot. I kind of wanted to start it. After I got started, I decided, you know what, I really want to take my time. So I come to it maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. And I answer the questions, I do the assignment, and I sit with what I write for a few days, because it really helps me to go within and think and make the connection with myself. And so that's what's important. So I feel like this was all over the place, but that's okay. Hopefully you got what you needed to get from this today, which is why I believe this is why Spirit has me in this school. I call it a school because I am so used to having notes upon notes upon notes. I have notebooks of writing everything down before I teach, and Spirit is like, no, you're going to speak from the heart. So I'm hoping that what I said today was beneficial to you. If you need help in creating your habits or identifying your habits, reach out to me privately. I'll be more than happy to do so. If you're in the group, you can leave a comment below and I can answer it. Or if you want to reach out to me privately, you can. My email is iamdeaquilin@gmail.com. That's IAMDEAQUELYNN @gmail.com. So with that, thank you so much for being a part of Sacred Self-Love Sundays. Thank you even more for being a part of Inner Work Sessions group. I send love, light, peace, and blessings to you. Know this, you are the work of God, and his work is wholly loving and wholly lovable. Take care.